Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it. Like, share, subscribe, y'all, let's get it. Let's go. Man, that jump was crazy. He was over that jump. Like, he was directing traffic. We was like, man, he over there talking about that jump. My roommate was like, man, look, man, I ain't got no problem with dude. He was like, cause for real, I ain't trying to fight dude. He's the only way I fight dude is dude disrespect me. So the dude Jay was like, man, he almost did, man, the way he pulled up, man. He was like, yeah, I know, man. He was like, man, I kind of thought about it while he was talking. And that's why I laughed it off because, man, I ain't trying to fight no boy, man. I was like, yo, bro, I feel the same way. I'm glad you feel like that. I was like, but if you would have took off on him, I said, we would have had to bank Grace Jones, bro, because I wasn't going to let him do you dirty. My homeboy Jay was like, what if you'd have beat all three of us up? I said, bro, that jump would have been crazy, bro. I said, man, I just hope he ain't a brawler like that, man. To do all three of us, though, bro. I said, man, he would have done all three of us. That would have been nuts. He was like, yeah, I know. So we just kind of like, you know, we ain't want to make my roommate feel like, you know what I mean, he really got played or something like that. So we kind of laughed it off. You kind of laughed it off. So we ain't tripping, though, you know what I mean? So when we was in the child hall, we had supposed to holler at my man in one building. My man in one building was supposed to have been selling us the Lala. So we was thinking we was about to get an opportunity because all of us was putting up $50. I was gonna get my peoples to go do the Western Union and get $50 from my roommate and get $50 from Jay. And we was about to go score with $1.50 and just get a bunch of spoons, break them all down, re-spoon them all up, sell them all again, break it down, get some commissary, get dumb scrap, and we'll be able to mess with the Lala. Now, it won't no Lala in the block. Like, people was getting mad that every time some Lala come in the block, it's some little rolled up J's that they done got from somewhere else. And it'd be hard buying that. Like, nobody really want to buy that because it's not really worth it. So when we was in the child hall, we get the word that my homeboy, you know what I mean? My homeboy and the Bing. So we like, hey, we go to the hole. They was like, yeah, bro, went to the hole. So we like, man, that play over with, man. So we like, man, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So we jive a little mad about that. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't too happy that, you know what I mean, that we're not making this play, but we still had $150 to spend. So we like, man, if it pop up, dude, like, man, my roommate was like, they ain't gonna pop up to the weekend. You know what I mean? It's like on a fresh Wednesday. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna pop up to the weekend. So like, we just was mad about that. So we go back to the pod and a dude popped up. He had some D block. You know what I mean? We don't mess with the D block, man. So like, the D block was in the block. Dude from Richmond had the D block. You know what I mean? So we don't really rock with that. So it was just like, it was a crazy situation because it was like, man, like, you know what I mean? We trying to get to work. So we ain't had nothing to do with the money. We was mad that we still had the money but couldn't do nothing with it. So we all like, man, this junk crazy. We all in a sour mood now because we ain't got no Lala. So they said it was a dude that worked in the library, man. Dude in the yard came back and told the dude working in the library he's supposed to have some weight on the Lala. So we like, man, all right, man, let's make the play. So we made the play. You know what I mean? He was like, dude, want the Western Union first. Let him know when the Western Union, he gonna get his peoples to check. Then he gonna send the work. So all right, we gonna tell him do that. Then he'll send that tomorrow. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, so we put it together. So we put it together. I sent dude the Western Union. From the information he gave me, I sent his peoples the Western Union. Let him know that it was there. So I guess he checked. Once he checked it was there, he was like, he gonna holler at us at lunch the next day. So when lunch came, we go to the chow hall, we get the junk, you know what I mean? Now he won't like giving up a whole bunch of spoons, man. You know what I mean? For the 100, you get 10 or 12. So he gave us 12 for the 100. And then for the extra 50, man, he gave us another 6. So we had 18 spoons. So it was a decent amount, you know what I mean? It was 6, we all got 6 apiece. But you know, we all re-spooned them out, redid it all over so we can get a little extra. So when we was in the room, we was like, look, we about to try that junk, you know what I mean? Let's try it out to see what the junk hitting on. So we get the junk, you know what I mean? It was like, get the hit in the la-la, we like, it's all right, you know what I mean? My homeboy was like, Jay was like, it's okay. You know what I mean? It ain't really like that easy, man. Like, you know what I mean? So we like, man, as long as it's said, I don't care. So I just start bagging up fees. You know what I mean? I start bagging up fees. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make my little $50 back and I'm gonna go from there. So everybody did the same thing. So when we come out in the pod, we got the pod jive like chasing now because everybody that know we got the Lala. They smelled it like, yo, we got the Lala. So we start pumping the Lala. Man, I promise you, man, we pumped the Lala like 2 people. I pumped the Lala to 2 people. My homeboy pumped the Lala with 2 people. man, the la was Garbino. Now I ain't want to say nothing because it was like the effects of the la that wore off of me. Like, you know, I was lit for about 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Had a nice little buzz, but once we started coming out in the park where it was more lights and all of that, it was like I got sober. So like I didn't want to say nothing. It definitely was la, but still there was some Garbino. So I'm like, so dude come out was like, Weezy, hey look, man, I don't mean no harm, bro. I don't like that junk, bro. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? It's like one pack out left out the 2-pack piece you sold me, bro. So, you know, I was like, I gave him half his money back. You know what I mean? The other dude pull up on me. He was like, man, hey, Weezy, man, I rolled the whole junk you gave me, man. He was like, for real, man, that junk weak, Weezy, man. I was like, I heard, bro. He was like, man, you gonna do me like that? I was like, nah, bro, you good, bro. I gave bro his money back. So thank God I only had sold to 2 people. I look up, I see my homeboy Jay that sleep next door to us. He doing the same thing, talking to dudes getting refunds. So now we stuck with the la. We like, this junk crazy, man. We gotta pull up on dude from the library, man. Let him know, man, we want our money back. You know what I mean? So the dude, the yard man dude, he like, look, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm letting y'all know now. Like, you're not gonna get no money back. He was like, man, like, you wanted some, you got some, bro. Like, it ain't might don't beat all that. But like, you know what I mean? Like, he ain't getting you no refund. So we like it was, you know, when you go through middlemans and do stuff like that, like, yeah, you can wild out and crash. But like, you know, it's business. We accepted it. You know what I mean? That's why, like, we started in the future. We started testing before we buy, because you have to do that, or you can take some dudes from their word. We didn't know the dude in the library. Dude in the library probably had that stuff bound in the library for 10 years, y'all. So boom, all the potency was gone off it, man. It wasn't no boost to it, man. Like the jump was weak. The jump was weak, man. Now we stuck with it, man. For real, the block went from smelling like the la because we had it to now it's like it's back to being quiet in that joint again. So I promise y'all, man, I come down the steps. I stay in for a sale break. I come down the steps. I'm like, this money. This don't smell like the la we got. I'm like, I see the white dude being across the park. He going to sell 12. I see another dude go this way. I see another dude shoot up the steps. Hey, CO! Hey, CO! Let me in my cell. CO let him in. Bro, come back out with a laundry bag. He come down the steps. I'm looking, I'm like, I'm watching this whole thing, y'all. Y'all know our part is like a baby city. I'm like this, I'm like, he dipping, he moving. I smell la laundry bag. I'm like, man, that only equals one thing. Somebody else has la y'all, so boom. I say, bro, I caught the white dude. He trying to dip back. I was like, yo. He was like, what's up, Weezy? I was like, hey, who got the la bro? He was like, Cell 3 has it. I was like, Cell 3? He was like, the dude Jamie. It's good too, man. I was like, he got the la? He was like, he got the la. I started looking around. I just seen Richmond dudes kind of like congregating, getting their money together. You know what I mean? I'm like, this junk crazy, man. I'm like, man, this junk wild, man. I'm like, this junk wild. So I'm like, shh, man. My homeboy Jay pull up on me like, hey, you heard what they saying? They say the boy got the la. I'm like, shh, man. I was like, how that boy get that la? I said, he probably put it in his tutor. Pause. I'm like, man, I don't mess with tutor la, bro. Like, if it come out the tutor, I don't mess with it, bro. You know what I mean? He was like, man, I don't know, but everybody buying it, though. He was like, I ain't gonna lie to you. He was like, smelling Richmond dudes downstairs blowing it. He was like, man, that junk smell good too, Weezy. I was like, shh. My roommate come down the steps. He like, what's going on in here? I was like, bro, shh, your arch nemesis, man, got the la, bro. He was like, who? I was like, man, the dude Jamie. He was like, he got la. I was like, bro, he got the la, bro. You know what I mean? He was like, that's crazy, man. Like, how he get la? So like, it ain't really like that we hating on him that he got the la. It ain't nothing like that. It's just like trying to do business with this guy. Like, you know what I mean? That means you have to talk to this guy. Like, and I already told you, man, like he's just one of those dudes that's like, you know what I mean? He ready to fight. He's just one of them dudes that just waiting for a situation where he can just get off on the dude, and I wasn't gonna be his huckleberry. I'm sorry, man. So I looked at my homeboy. I was like, look, go get us some feezies, Jay. Jay was like, I ain't going to holler at him, man. You crazy, Weezy, man. You trying to send me to go holler at the boy to get some la. I was like, yeah. He was like, you go holler at him. I was like, nah. I looked at my roommate. I was like, y'all the one got the little beef. I said, he probably, you know what I mean, cool with you after that. Go get the la. He was like, man, I ain't going to get it, man. no, y'all can't send me to go do that, man. I ain't going to get it. No, sir. I was like, so how we gonna get lit then? I say, look, y'all wanna try it? I said, because I'm ready to be like, forget it. Because I don't think he got it through the VI, bro. It's freaking, you know what I mean? It's Tuesday. Unless he held it, gent, you know what I mean? He was like, man, oh no, man. I don't know, Weezer, man. I was like, look, let's do rock, paper, scissors, man. Do rock, paper, scissors, man. All three of us, man. You know what I mean? I said, look, I'm gonna go against you. If you beat me, we'll go against him. And that's gonna be who gonna go do it, bro. He was like, all right. I went against Jay. I was like, I always go rock first. He was like, yeah, that's 1. 2 out of 3. I was like, I always go rock back to back. He was like, yeah, I knew he was gonna go scissors again. He was like, man, that's crazy, man. I said, you gotta go against my roommate. This word, when he went up against my roommate, he was like, he did the same thing I did. And he beat my roommate. This is my word, he beat my roommate. My roommate was like, man, come on, man. I was like, look, bro, go upstairs, grab that bag, bro. That bag got $20 in it, bro. I said, how much you putting up? He was like, man, I got $5, man. I put it. Jay was like, man, I'll put something with it too. So we like, just take it all and go scope. He was like, all right, man. So he went upstairs. Looked like he had to take a long walk, y'all. This word. This word. I said he went upstairs. He was like, all right, man. He didn't run up the steps. He was like, hey, CO, oh my door. CO door. He come back out with the bag. Come down the steps. Watch. He was like, let's go over here so we can watch. You know what I mean? So we walked up closer to the table that's by cell 3 slightly. You know what I mean? So we get a little closer. He go to the door. Somebody just left the joint. He was like, you heard somebody say, yo! That joint sounded crazy. He was like, that joint said, yo! He was like, my roommate didn't want to show his face. You know, usually after somebody say, yo, you supposed to show your face to the window. He was like, John was like, well, who was this? He got up. He was like, what's up? My roommate was like, all right, get my dough pop. Word. Roommate yelled at somebody, hey, tell him open 3. John opened up. He come out with the blue shit rolled up. He was like, he dumped the bag on the ground. He was like, I'm gonna give you a spoon. My roommate was like, gave him the spoon. My roommate dip out. That's my word. My roommate dip out, man. My roommate was like, man, that y'all crazy, man. Like, yo, I ain't wanna, you know what I mean? I ain't wanna do that, bro. Y'all just made me do that. I'm like, yo, bro, listen. Y'all be talking crazy, bro. I was like, man, I ain't, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get lit, bro. Like, we ain't had no la in a minute, bro. Long as he ain't go to the VI and get that joint, I ain't got no problem with it. He was like, yeah, man, like, we still don't know where he got it from. We're like, bro, it don't matter. As long as he ain't go to VI. He ain't go to VI, bro. It's Tuesday, bro. You know what I mean? So everybody was like, man, forget it. So we went inside Jason and rolled the joint. You know what I mean? He gave us a decent spoon and everything. You know what I mean? He gave us a decent spoon and everything. I ain't gonna lie. So everything was straight. So we come out for night shift. Everybody feeling good. You know what I mean? My roommate come back in the cell, man. He was like, man, I was about to go over there to spit, man, Miss M. Man, that freaking tall dude over there looking crazy, man. I was like, he told you to tell him move whenever you want him to move, man. He was like, man, I ain't telling that dude move, man. I was like, bro, just wait your turn then. You know what I mean? I go back and look at that TV. You know what I mean? He like, man, he in the way, Weezer, man. I'm like, bro, what you gonna do about it, bro? What you gonna do about it, man? He was like, man, that joint crazy, man. That joint wild. I ain't feeling that joint, Weezer, man. So he ain't even talk to Miss M that night. You know what I mean? The next day rolled around, it was like he had the pod kind of like everybody's rocking with him now slightly because he got the la-la. Like the la-la is the friendly narcotic that has everybody that'll come talk to you. People who you'll never expect. They come spend money, they'll spend money. That's how the la-la is. That's why I used to like that, because la-la overruled everything. You know what I mean? I knew la-la was like a dinosaur. I knew everything else was gonna get extinct except the la-la. But it's crazy now that the la-la is extinct, y'all. So boom. Talked to my man Rudy and them. They said la-la is extinct in penitentiary, man. Dudes is doing K2. I promise you, man. But around this time, la-la was the ruler, man. La-la was the one, man. So like that's why I used to like to do it. So the whole time he in the joint winning. I ain't gonna lie, the whole time he in the joint winning. It's like he came in the block and just became a person that was winning. Now, I don't want y'all to get it confused that we are hating on this man. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't hate. It wasn't hate, man. This guy was just somebody that just moved in, that was a boy, and now he has the pod on smash slightly, man. He has the good job, He's talking to the CEO that my roommate like, and he's getting the la now. So we don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? But he's looking like he's the important guy in the block, man. So it was wild. So he went from getting the money, doing all of that. You know what I mean? The next day pop up. Man, I promise you, man, I heard the rumor. I heard some dudes talking as I went to the water fountain. There was two dudes by the little phone right there. The phone's not too far from the water fountain. I walked to the water fountain, get some hot water. I'm like, I walked to the water fountain, get some hot water. I'm like, I look, I see the two dudes from Richmond on. He was like, man, Shawty, man, now he coming to block. He got the D now. He was like, man, Shawty, now he coming to block. He got the train, Shawty. Now he got the train now, Shawty. Yeah, dang, that's crazy. So I'm like, I look, I know the Richmond dude, but I ain't gonna get in their business because he talking to a dude I really don't talk to like that from the art. So he had a conversation. I go over here, I make some cappuccino. You know what I mean? I'm making a cappuccino. So I'm sitting over by the bench, I'm drinking the cappuccino. So I wait for the dude to finish. I walk up, I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? He was like, what's up, Weezy? I was like, hey, look, but they say Grace Jones got the D block now. He was like, shh, you heard? I was like, nah. He was like, man, they say he got a cannonball. He got a cannonball too, man. He was like, man, they say he got his jank good too. He was like, my jank good too. He said, but he was going around telling everybody that his better. I was like, he was going around telling everybody his better. He was like, yeah. He was like, man, look, man. He was like, look, man, my uncle know him from the other spot, man. He was like, man, a man like to come in the block and take everything over, bro. The jobs, the narcotics, the women. He like to take everything over, bro. I was like, well, how people be letting him do this though? Like, I'm not saying on a like some violence, but I'm just like, how do he just come in and do this? He was like, man, I don't know. But right now, I already know he fucking my pockets up, Sean. I ain't feeling that shit, man. I ain't feeling that shit, man. He was like, man, y'all niggas buying that la from him, ain't y'all? I was like, I ain't even gonna say yeah or nothing. I was like, yeah, we bought some of that shit. He was like, man, that shit all right too, ain't I was like, yeah. He was like, man, that motherfucker, man, that shit crazy, man. He was like, but look though, goddamn, as he started talking, they were like, hey, Weezy, your homeboy calling you. In 4C, he at the top. I'm like, all right. I was like, yo, bro, you going outside? He was like, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna holler at you outside. So I dapped him up. And I went over to the joint where the booth was at. And I seen my man, he like, I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? He like, I gotta holler at you. You going outside? I'm like, yeah. He's like, come outside. I need you to do me a favor. I'm like, I'll be out there. That's a lot. He was like, all right. So I just chilled. You know what I mean? I finished drinking my cappuccino. Lady said, exit out for rent. Exit out for rent. Y'all leave it out for rent. You got the big yard. Exit out for rent. So everybody start leaving out. You know what I mean? Everybody dip out. We go out of the yard. You know what I mean? I see my homeboy. You know what I mean? My homeboy spot me. He like, what's up, bro? What you doing over there? I was like, man, I ain't doing nothing. I'm chilling. He was like, you had some of that lot over there? They said, y'all got some gas over there. I was like, yeah, that joint all right over there. I ain't gonna lie though. You know what I mean? He was like, I'm saying though, the boy got it though. I'm like, yeah. He was like, man, how the boy getting that shit in though? I'm like, bro, I don't know, bro. Like, I ain't asked that nigga that. You know what I mean? I said, we did rock, paper, scissors to see who gonna score from his ass. That's how much we don't want to talk to him. He was like, go ahead, man. I said, bro, word, my roommate, my homeboy, bro. We did rock, paper, scissors, bro. I said, of course I ain't lose. You know what I mean? He was like, man, that's crazy. But look, I'm bringing you out. He said, I told you to holler at me because I want you to holler at him. I'm trying to spend $100. I'm like, I mean, bro, I don't talk to him like that, bro. I was like, I don't, you know what I mean? He was like, what I'm saying, we used to do that for me. I'm like, bro, look, I don't really want to be responsible for nobody ain't doing. I said, what I can do is tell him that you want to holler at him. I said, I'll do that, bro. I don't really want to be the middleman pause. Like, I don't want to be that right now, bro. I don't want to, that's not what I'm trying to do. He was like, I'm saying though, like, all right, well, I'm gonna holler at him then though, bro. I'm just saying though, like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get you to holler at him. I was like, nah, I'll tell him you trying to scold him. You know what I mean? He was like, man, all right. He was like, hold on, I'll be back. So he dipped off. You know what I mean? So when he dipped off, I was just standing by the cooler where you come in at on the big yard. The big yard is big. I can walk down there by 2 buildings, you know what I mean? But I stayed over there, like right by the cooler, you know what I mean? By my building. I was just standing right there, and I finally just started walking, you know what I mean? I was like, man, let me walk this joint a little bit. So everybody, I know talking to somebody. So I just started walking laps dolo. I'm like, shh, don't try to get me to run and play with Grace Jones. I was like, no, I can't do it, man. So walking laps. So I get up on dude for Rich, you know what I mean? He's coming on. He's like, hey, hold on, I gotta tell Weezy this. I was like, what's up? He was like, come here, Weezy. I was like, what's up? He was like, man, look, man, dude out of control though, man. He was like, man, look, man. He said the whole time, I promise you I won't try to get in this business, short. He was like, but look, my main man know him. He was like, man, look, why they say that man be going to the visiting room, Weezy? I was like, He go to the visiting room. He was like, yeah, he be going to the visiting room. He was like, man, the man go to the visiting room whenever he want to go to the visiting room, bro. He got a sister that'll bring anything he want. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, he got a sister that'll bring him anything he want. I was like, man, I didn't see that man go to VI, the dude that was standing around for the Richmond. He was like, because he the first visit every morning. He said, because he the first visit on the weekend every time. So he go early. Soon as the visit open up, he go there and come right back. Don't nobody really be knowing unless you see him come back. He was like, man, he go to VI, man. He was like, man, that man been going to the VI and putting the pack up his ass for over 5 years.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes.